Hi everybody, and welcome to the triumphant return of James's House of Rock. This is of course the first episode of Season 2. Today's topic, Angels and Airwaves and all the other Blink-182 side projects. Let's get started. First band we're going to cover is Angels and Airwaves. Formed by Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 in 2005. It's often stylized as AVA to match his daughter's name. And Tom has claimed it to be the best music in decades, which I think I could probably agree with, but there are plenty of other better bands. Current members, Tom DeLonge on vocals and guitar, Ian Rubin on drums, David Kennedy on guitar, and Eddie Breckenridge on the bass. There are former members Ryan Sin on bass and Adam Willard drums, as well as Matt Wachter on bass. Their first album, We Don't Need to Whisper, as shown on my far left here, or far right, was released on May 23rd, 2006. It was produced by Tom DeLonge and was released through Geffen and Suretone Records. It peaked at number 4 on the billboards and was released prematurely due to a fan email hacking Tom's computer and releasing demos from the album. The singles include The Adventure, It Hurts, Do It For Me Now, and The War. I personally, this is probably one of my favorite Angels and Airwaves albums, and all of these singles are worth listening to. And you can even look them up because there are music videos for all the singles. This album inspired the documentary Start the Machine, which is named after the last song on the album, which describes the process of making the album as well as the breakup with Blink-182. I have yet to see the documentary, but I certainly wish to in the future. Their second album, I Empire, over here, was released on November 1st, 2007, and was produced by Tom DeLonge, released through Geffen and Suretone Records, and number 9 on American billboards, but number 1 on Canada's. Singles Everything's Magic, Secret Crowds, and Breathe, videos for all singles. I absolutely love the song Secret Crowds, and with my mediocre singing voice, it's kind of hard to do the quick words that Tom DeLonge sings, and you'll see that once if you ever listen to the song. Their next album, Love Part 1, which I have here in a box set of Love Part 1 and 2, was released February 12, 2010, and was produced by Tom DeLonge. Was released through To the Stars Records, which is his own, as well as Geffen Records. It only reached number 67 on billboards, and released before the album was released. They showed a quick video on their website entitled Transmission Love that showed a preview of one of the songs, A Flight of Apollo. It has the singles Hallucinations and Epic Holiday. This is actually one of the only Angels and Airwaves albums that didn't have any music videos released. It inspired a film, which is also called Love, about a man trapped in space while Earth falls apart below him. It was produced by Tom DeLonge, and this album serves as the soundtrack. You can buy a combo pack on the band's website containing Love Parts 1 and 2 and the movie, or buy the movie off iTunes. I only have the combo pack for Part 1 and Part 2, but I plan on getting the movie probably off iTunes soon. The second part, Love Part 2, was released on November 1st, 2011. It was produced by Tom DeLonge and was released through To the Stars Records, his own. It was number 30 on billboards, and it had singles Anxiety and Surrender. There are videos for both singles, though the video for Anxiety, though a little cool, was pretty bland compared to some of the other music videos I've seen from Tom DeLonge. Then Tom DeLonge himself reported that Love Part 2 would be better than Part 1, and in my personal opinion, it is my favorite of the two albums. The most recent release, The Dreamwalker, is also stylized as The Poet Anderson, The Dreamwalker. It was released December 9th, 2014, and was produced by Tom DeLonge and Aaron Rubin. It was released through To the Stars Records, and it was number 39 on Billboard's. It has the singles Paralyzed and The Wolf Pack, and is part of the Poet Anderson universe, including comic books, novels, and albums. Now, over here I have my Angels and Airwaves shirt, which on the front is the marble-like picture that is the front cover of the album, as you can see over here. And on the back it has the moon with the poet jumping over it that says Angels and Airwaves underneath. You can also see that picture over here on the graphic novel for the album. And as you can maybe tell if it wasn't filled in all black, the Poet Anderson is in fact stylized after Tom DeLonge. Over here is also part of the Poet Anderson Dreamwalker pack, and it's a dream journal, because as you can obviously tell, this whole thing is about a dream world. As the universe expands over the coming months, you'll see not only the album, but now there is a full novel in production, The Poet Anderson, The Nightmare. There is another album in the universe set, as well as a live-action Poet Anderson movie, and there is an animation that's also added in on this box set. Comic books are running right now, as well as many other things that you'll see in the coming months. Now, Tom DeLonge's solo, which was just recently released, To the Stars, Demos, Odds and Ends. It was released on April 21st, 2015. The whole album is demos from Blink-182 that were recorded before he left, and as well as Angels and Airwaves demos from his personal stash. Singles New World, The Invisible Parade, and Circle Jerk Pit. I know, funny. There are music videos for all of them on his YouTube channel, and I suggest looking them up. They're very well made videos. In fact, for the video for New World, you might tell if you ever look at it that his anger towards Blink-182, because it is the video is set in the Blink-182 rehearsal space, as well as he's smashing a bass and drums with his guitar. So, as you can put two and two together there, I'm sure. It's available for purchase on CD and vinyl via tothestars.media, and available for download on iTunes. That's how I got it, but I plan on buying the CD soon. As you can see, I don't have it on my table over here. Now on to Boxcar Racer, which was formed in 2001 by Tom DeLonge. Consists of members Tom DeLonge on vocals and bass, Travis Barker on drums, and David Kennedy on guitar. The band's purpose was to experiment with darker tones, that of which you couldn't do in Blink-182. This was one of the main, this was one of the first signs of Blink-182's original breakup, because Mark Hoppus felt betrayed that Tom didn't ask him to help. But the real reason that Tom DeLonge did Travis Barker is he was too cheap to pay for a studio drummer. Their first album, as I have over here, is self-titled and was released May 21st, 2002, produced by Jerry Finn, which is one of my absolute favorite producers, who has done almost every Blink-182 album, as well as their early side projects, both Plus 44 and Boxcar Racer. It was released through MCA Records, and it peaked at number 12 on the Billboards. The two singles on the album are I Feel So and There Is. There are music videos for both. One of my favorite songs on the album is either To the End With You or Cat Like Thief. Cat Like Thief is featuring Tim Armstrong of the band Rancid, and the lead singer from Newfound Glory. There's also the song Elevator on the album, which features Mark Hoppus on vocals. Then on to Tom DeLonge's clothing company, MACBETH Footwear. was founded in 2002 by Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus. Hoppus left after trouble with Blink-182 in 2005. The clothing company is actually a subsidiary of Saban Brands, which another Saban brand is the TV, which makes Power Rangers. It offers hats, shoes, and clothes. If you look it up on YouTube, they have a bunch of funny commercials that usually include elements of Blink-182, such as one of them is Boomer takes a tour of the MACBETH footwear factory, and Boomer is the character from Blink-182's album Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, where he was part of like the 70s dream band from the music video for First Date. And he's also very keen into the environment with a vegan and recycled line of shoes. Mark Hoppus, or now on to Mark Hoppus's side bands. Plus 44, as the album is over here, was formed in 2005 with members Mark Hoppus, vocals and bass, Travis Barker on drums, Shane Gallagher on guitar, and Craig Fairbaugh on rhythm guitar. It was formed in the wake of Blink's breakup, and Plus 44, if you're wondering, is actually the international dial-up for London, which is where Hoppus lived at the time and where the band first met. Their first album, When Your Heart Stops Beating, was released on November 13th, 2006, and was released through Interscope Records. It was produced by the duo, Mark and Travis, as well as Jerry Finn, as I mentioned before. It reached number 10 on Billboards, and it had the singles When Your Heart Stops Beating, No It Isn't, Lycanthrope, 155, and Baby Come On. I do love this whole entire album and all the singles, but one of my favorite songs on this album that's not listed as a single is Weatherman. It has a very dark tone to it, but still is a very, very good song. There are videos for 155 and When Your Heart Stops Beating. The band's canceled second album was first canceled so that Hoppus and Barker could work on solo albums, then was later pushed back due to Blink's reunion for 2011's Neighborhoods, and then might still be coming because Mark Hoppus has said, never say never, because if you say never, it'll put you in a position that you want to do that. So still maybe keep an eye out, especially after the recent Blink drama. His other side project, Nothing and Nobody, was formed in 2014 with members Mark Hoppus on bass and vocals, Chris Holmes, electronics and vocals, Sarah Jones on drums and vocals. As of yet, they only have 7 to 8 songs in various completion. Should be soon, but has been pushed back or put on hold due to the possible Blink album with Matt Skiba. Now, Mark's clothing company, Hi, My Name is Mark, was founded in 2012 by Mark Hoppus and a few of his friends. And it's kind of funny, their logo is an octopus. And I believe you can look it up on his website why his logo is an octopus. But I am not sure myself. Then it offers such things as shirts, hats, watches, and wristbands. You can definitely find a lot of stuff on Hi, My Name is Mark, and though it might be a little expensive, it does look really cool, especially his watches. So you might see me wearing a Hi, My Name is Mark shirt in the near future of this show. Then the Hi, My Name is Mark podcast. He does it every once in a while. There's not really a set timing for it, with his friend James. And has guests such as comedians and authors, and talks about Blink-182 news and awesome new music. This is actually how I found out about Matt Skiba's solo project, Matt Skiba and the Secrets, and because he played an early release of the single She-Wolf and I fell in love with it and started looking him up, and that's how I became very familiar with Matt Skiba, which is now Tom DeLonge's replacement. He just recently had an author that wrote a series of children's books that I need to look up called The Dinosaur That Poops a Lot. I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but I certainly need to look those up sometime in the near future. Now on to Travis Barker's side projects. His first one, The Transplants, was formed in 1999 with members Tim Armstrong on vocals and guitar, Skinhead Rob, also vocals. If you're wondering, Skinhead Rob's real name is Rob Aston, but if you couldn't already tell by his name, he's bald, so it's Skinhead Rob. Travis Barker on drums and Kevin Benova on bass. Tim Armstrong is actually the lead singer of the band Rancid as well, if you've ever heard of them. Their first album, simply titled Transplants, was released on October 22nd, 2002, under Hellcat Records, and was produced by Tim Armstrong and Dave Carlock. It's a pretty weird name, but I like it. They have the singles Diamonds and Guns, and was recorded in Tim's basement. The band broke up after this album to work on other projects, Armstrong doing Rancid and Barker rejoining with Blink-182. But then they had their second album, Haunted Cities, released on June 21st, 2005, under Atlantic Records. It was produced by Tim Armstrong, Dave Carlock, and Louis Pilchett. It had the singles Gangsters and Thugs, which I think is funny because the first album has Diamonds and Guns, and then this one's Gangsters and Thugs. And it's close to rhyming. It reached number 28 on Billboards, and had a special Screwed and Chopped version of the album by Paul Wall, which, if not already obvious, is remixing an album with a hip-hop tone. And Paul Wall has screwed and chopped many other albums in the same style. The band went into another hiatus following this album until 2013 with their album In a War Zone. It was released June 25th, 2013 through Epitaph Records, and had the single Come Around. It had mostly positive reviews. I couldn't find an exact number. Then last year, it was announced the Transplants were back in the studio, so keep a lookout for their new album. Now, I wanted to just describe, because I don't personally like the Transplants. I find it very raw and unproduced rock with touches of hip-hop, which might be your style, but certainly isn't mine. Travis Barker's solo work for his first album, Give the Drummer Some, was released on March 15th, 2011, was produced by Travis and a bunch of other people, including the Transplants. There was way too many to name. It was released through Interscope Records, and had the single Can the Drummer Get Some. It had pretty good reviews, but I don't personally like it because it has the same thing as the Transplants. It's very raw and unproduced rock with the touch of hip-hop in it, which hip-hop's never really been my big genre anyway. Then Travis Barker, even before Blink-182, was part of the Aquabats, and his stage name was the Baron Von Tito, because the Aquabats have stage names such as the MC Bat Commander, Jim the Robot, and Baron Von Tito. The one album he was in the Aquabats for was The Fury of the Aquabats. It was released October 28th, 1997, through Golden Voice Records. Produced by the Aquabats, as well as Jim Goodwin, and had the singles Super Rad and My Skateboard. It was number 172 on Billboards. Now, I listened into the Aquabats, and they're very comedic, let's say. I won't go as far as saying they're good, but if you like good like rock comedy, then this is the band for you. And you can even look up their kids show, the Aquabats Super Show, which came up way later than this album, but is a lot like the Power Rangers, but with the Aquabats. Travis Barker also collaborated with Yellow Wolf for the Psycho White EP, which was released on November 13th, 2012, and was produced by Mixmaster Mike as well as Travis and Yellow Wolf. It was self-released through Famous Stars and Straps and Killer Distribution, the two members' record labels, and had the single Push 'Em. It debuted on number 49 on Billboards, and you can now either download it through Travis's website or just simply download it through iTunes. The last side project for him is Travis and DJ AM. It's stylized as a little different, but there's really no way to pronounce it, so I'll put it on the bottom here. They released the Fix Your Face mixtape. It's a DJ mix that was released on August 28th, 2008. The album was a collaboration between Travis Barker and Adam Goldstein, aka DJ AM. And it never went any farther because of Adam's death. Now, the last thing is Travis's clothing company, Famous Stars and Straps. It was founded in 1999 and is based in California. It makes a variety of clothing, including pants, socks, shirts, sunglasses, wristbands, hats, and many other products. You could probably make a full outfit out of just Famous Stars and Straps products. I wanted to go, now that we're at the end here, I wanted to go further into this this book that came with the Poet Anderson box set when the album came out. In the front, it comes with the animation as well as a graphic novel version of the animation. And then if you flip the book around, it has a cool little like compilation of lyrics and pictures of the band. And then if you shine it up to the light, it has a hidden message on it that if any of you own it out there, now I've given you this hint. It's in that book, within the lyrics section, all you have to do is shine up. I believe it's the picture of Tom with the like fist pumping. I'll try to find it here. Oh yeah, here. If you shine this up to the light, it has like a secret message down the bottom here. So if any of you own that, certainly look into your books and tell me what you think it is. I personally think it might be part of like the screenplay to the Poet Anderson movie, or maybe part of the many novels he has coming out soon. So new CDs coming out. I'm only doing recent weeks because, as you know, it's been a while since the last episode. Hinder, When the Smoke Clears, Incubus, Trust Fall Side A, which is an EP, Faith No More, Soul Invictus, Bare Naked Ladies, Silver Ball, Matt Skiba and Secrets, Cuts, as I mentioned earlier. Muse is releasing a new album, Drones. Of Monsters and Men is releasing Beneath the Skin, which I absolutely love. Of Monsters and Men's first single, which is Little Talks off their first album. And most recently, Breaking Benjamin's Dark Before Dawn, which is the result of the him winning the legal battle between his past band members over the name of the band. He won and got himself a new band and now has this new album, which is amazing. Definitely look it up. Some concerts coming around. There was so many that I actually only did about half of July and still have a lot. June 29th is the Bare Naked Ladies at the Blue Hill Bank Pavilion in Boston. July 1st is Imagine Dragons at the TD Garden, which I will be attending and will do a review on the next episode. July 4th, Power Man 5000 at the Jules nightclub in Manchester. July 5th, Def Leppard at Mohegan Sun. And also July 9th, Def Leppard at the Xfinity Center. And then July 10th, 11th, and 15th is U2 at the TD Garden. July 11th, the Warped Tour at the Xfinity Theater. July 14th is the Warped Tour at Xfinity Center. Lots of Xfinities. And if you'd like to know more upcoming ones, I couldn't write them all for the sake of time. Check out Ticketmaster and put in your local area. So I think that's about it for the triumphant return of James's House of Rock. I will see you all for the rest of Season 2. Goodbye.